Hey, welcome to the new, maybe improved, I guess like the jury is still out, Gaming Nexus show. I'm saying this is the podcast for people who like video games but want something a little different?
Ooh.
Question mark? Huh?
We have a slogan?
I was trying. I've been thinking about it. It's not a very good one, but it's there.
Okay. Wait. Rewind and then present it as a slogan. Welcome to Gaming Nexus and then say the slogan.
Okay.
Do it.
Welcome to the new and improved Gaming Nexus show. The podcast for people who want something a little bit more, who are still into... Oh, man. See, now I'm screwing it up because I said it pretty good the first time, and now you're screwing me over. Now I got to stick both of them in because it's kind of amusing. Anyway, my name is Elliot. I'm a writer at GamingNexus.com, and I'm joined by my three co-hosts, Eric, who is the editor-in-chief of the website.
Greetings. What's up? How you doing?
Joe, who streams for the website.
Hello. Hola. Bonjour.
And Max, who doesn't do any of those things, but we still like Max a lot.
He makes games. The man makes games.
He makes games.
He makes games.
He's too busy making games. And his new one, are you allowed to talk about the one you're making now at all? Or is it...
I don't know.
Okay. It sounds
Better
interesting.
not.
I'll say that.
Better not if you're not allowed to talk about it. Like if you don't know whether or not you can talk about it.
The answer's
probably
no, right?
The answer default to no. Yeah.
So each week, moving forward now, not each week, because we're going to do kind of like every other week or maybe even every 3 weeks, because in 2 weeks from now, it's Thanksgiving week, and I don't think I'm going to be doing anything that week, boys. I'm out of town. So anyway, we're going to take a theme. And Eric, what was this week's theme? What did we go with this week?
This week's theme was loyalty. Loyalty. So I mean, like I didn't know whether we should have a theme that was like race cars or we should have a theme that was more of like
Blue.
We can
broad.
alternate.
Blue. Exactly. Like how broad should the theme be? And so I just pulled loyalty out of my ass. Like just loyalty.
What about at the end of each episode, we spin a spinner and whoever it lands on has to immediately come up with a theme for the next week?
That's really good. That is now our thing.
Good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, Max, you're in charge of that, so you get on that.
You're an improviser, Joe. You got this.
Yeah, you're right. I got it. Let's do it.
So anyway, we're going to bring you a handful of different things each week. So there'll be time notes in the podcast show notes, like if you want to skip around. So if you don't want to hear like my monologue at the end, you can skip it, and I'll show you where you can do that. Or if you don't want to hear Eric or Joe or Max, you can kind of skip around or go to the thing you want because it's not really in any kind of particular order. So
we got a table of contents now.
Table of contents.
Be fancy.
I love how we were like, hey, we're going to do this and make it easier on Elliot. And now I'm like saying things. I'm like, this is a little bit more work. I'm going to do a little table of contents.
I didn't even know you were doing this,
I was going to say it, but you know.
It's not that hard. It's not that bad. Thanks. Yeah. That's my life in one sentence. I'm running on myself.
I think the important note here is that we've decided to focus more strictly on video games. We're cutting back on the Netflix chatter as much as we like to talk about Netflix and Marvel movies, which may occasionally still come up. We're going to cut back on that and try to be more focused. Since we are the Gaming Nexus show, we're going to try to focus more on gaming, different aspects of gamings. Sometimes it'll be like current game news. Sometimes it'll be like broader topics. Things we've been playing lately and so on. But the point is that we're going to try to have it be a little different each week. It's not going to be the format is not the four of us just sitting around talking for an hour. So we're breaking up into segments, pre-recorded segments, which could be one of us. It could be three of us. It could be two of us. It could be
all four of us, really.
It could be silence for 20
minutes. It could be a barking
Sometimes
dog.
you need that.
It could be, yeah.
That's easy. That's easy to do. We'll put mandatory 5-minute silences here and there. Yeah.
And despite the way we're presenting ourselves here, we're aiming for a more focused experience.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. A more focused experience. Yeah.
So we have three stories. I don't know. They're not really stories.
They're stories, man. Call them stories.
Okay, three stories. We got three stories. We got three stories this week. Joe, what is the story that you and I did this week? What are we talking about?
We talked about Puppet Combo's video game Murder House.
Yeah, and we didn't really focus on loyalty too much on that, but that's okay.
Well, no, it was kind of loyalty. See, because what happened was Puppet Combo put out a tweet, or no, somebody put out a tweet that they wanted Puppet Combo to change the icon to click to get into their game for the Nintendo Switch version because it was low resolution and it looked terrible.
Oh,
and
is that the one? I
Yes.
saw this. I saw this exchange on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
they
Puppet
were just
Combo
like,
was like, no.
no, just no.
Absolutely not. They just said no. Straight up no. And I said from there, I was like, you know what? I'm buying your game.
So there you go. So that's what Joe and I did a little talk about that. Mostly Joe, and I'm just kind of there facilitating. Eric, what did you do this week?
So I was thinking about the theme of loyalty, and I kind of wanted to talk to somebody else. I didn't want to just like chatter on my own. And my son happened to be home for the weekend, and he is the biggest gamer I know. He is the most hardcore gamer I've ever met in my life. And it's interesting because he maintains most of his friendships through gaming. Like his social life, since he's like a varsity athlete at college, he doesn't have a lot of time to like have a social life at the university. And so most of his friends and his socialization comes through gaming, and he's developed a very like committed group that games together. And so I wanted to talk to him about that. And then we also kind of got onto the topic of, like loyalty to different brands and like the ecosphere of, being in one console versus another and so on. So I don't know. I actually was pretty happy with the way it came out. I think it's a pretty interesting conversation. And my son's real cool. And so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
Your
was fun
son
to
is
listen
very
to.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely sounds like the cooler of the two of you, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm just like the little yapping dog.
Didn't say that at all.
Hey.
I think they're equally as cool. So I'm just going to put that out there.
I don't. I
Thanks,
I
man.
definitely do not. Aiden sounds like he has a pretty cool life already.
Yeah, he's got it going on. He's pretty good.
And then I tried to take the ghost of Andy Rooney and be possessed by it. I did a little one-man essay on brand loyalty. I don't know how it came off. I always hate like editing things when I hear the sound of my own voice. And this was literally just me talking for like 6 minutes. So by the end I was like, this is fine. It's fine. So I don't know. We'll see how it turned out. I'll do better next time, maybe. I don't know.
I have faith in you.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to listen to this.
I don't know. Like I said, I hate the sound of my voice, so I think it sounds kind of weird and rambly, but who knows? Maybe.
Now represent it without saying all that.
No. I hate the sound of my voice. It's terrible. I sound so like bland when I hear myself back. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. And I know I sound exactly
easy
like
solution.
that.
Easy solution. Darth Vader voice changer modulator.
I mean, God.
There we go.
You act like you don't have the
Handled it.
technology.
There we go.
We have the science.
We have the science.
So anyway, before we do that though, Eric and Joe, you guys have been playing. I don't know if you guys been playing a lot of Forza or just like a little bit of Forza.
Yeah. No.
Forza's
I've
hot
been
this
playing.
week.
I've been playing a lot of Forza. So I reviewed Forza for the site. So I had it for 4 days, I think, before release. And it's a real weird thing playing a game like that before release because like pieces of it work and pieces of it just don't. So like the Battle Royale probably kicked in maybe a day before it came out. And some of the other multiplayer, like for a while, there were no other players like zipping around in the world. And then like some people started showing up and like it just ramped up until release. And then there was like an early access period of a couple days. And I read somewhere that before the actual release on Game Pass, 1 million people had already been playing it in early access. Like it's insane how popular it is. So yeah, like I'm in deep in, Forza is not the sort of game that you quote beat, and so I felt like I had played enough of it to, aptly review it, accurately. But I've got maybe 120 cars out of the 500 cars that you can get. And it is incredible. Every car in the game, like, drives completely uniquely. They are all absolutely like individual, with their own physics, and I don't even know where to start with this game. I just don't know where to start.
What do you do in this game? So it's a race car game. I think,
Okay,
familiar. So you go around, you don't go around a track though, right? This is different.
No. So it's set in Mexico and it's a big open world, right? And the world is so big, it probably takes about 10 minutes. If you're hauling ass cross country, ignoring the roads and just bahaing across, it probably takes about 10 minutes from end to end. It goes through to these different biomes. There's like jungle, there's like Mayan ruins, there's the beach area, there's cities, there's cornfields, there's mountains, there's a freaking volcano. So like there's all this stuff. Then as you kind of like play through parts of the story, it opens up more and more and more events. And so as you go to those events, like it could just be like a track race, or it could be like an off-road race through the jungle, or it could be a drag race, or it could just be like some wacky thing. Like there was one where I was racing a train. You know, there's one where you go and you plant seismic charges around the volcano. There's one where like you're trying to impress a luchador. So you got the luchador in the car and he's like screaming at you not to slow down, you know, and you have to like maintain a certain speed. And then as you complete these events, you win what they call accolades, and it just opens up more and more and more and more. And then the game, like it's constantly rewarding you. It's constantly throwing like money at you. It's throwing cars at you. And sometimes when you unlock cars, when you go to actually use them, it gives you like 30 different paint job options. And you can go in and you can customize your own paint job. You can like create your own events and post them for other people to play. There's a photo mode. There's like creative mode. There's a fucking battle royale just tossed in there like it was nothing, you know? Like you just drive over there and play the Forza battle royale, which is awesome fun.
What?
The game's been out for 2 days, right?
Yeah.
There are 4.5 million players as of today, 2 days after the game has been out. So, like, if that doesn't speak volumes for, like, the game, I don't know what does, right? 4.5 million is insane. That's an insane number for 2 days.
I wrote an article yesterday that it would make a great desert island game because there's so much, and it just feels like it's just, as opposed to, like, I'm going to run out of stuff, it feels like it's just going to get bigger and bigger as time goes on, you know, and it, like you can just focus on one career track and just decide you're going to do off-road racing. And that would keep you busy for like weeks, you know, or you could decide that you're going to follow all the story missions, or you could just engage with the battle royale. Like, there's like so many different activities. It's absolutely fascinating and stunning in scope. So
and it's on Game Pass. So like,
and it's on Game Pass. Yeah,
Game Pass continues to be the best bang for your buck.
Damn deal
ever
in gaming.
It's insane. Even if they raise the price by another $10 to $15, I'm
which
still
they tried, and the internet was like, "No, fuck y'all," and it was like, "We're sorry.
Yeah,
we're sorry."
It's crazy how much content is on there. How many like huge games, like it's crazy to me.
Game Pass overwhelms me a little bit. Like every week I look at what's new and I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have time for you Age of Empires for it. Like I really would like to, but you are intimidating. You know, and there's like 6 games a week, all quality stuff that I would love to check out. And it's like, damn, like I could stop reviewing games and still have a million games to play just because of Game Pass. You know,
it's the backlog of your backlog.
It is something, man. It is absolutely something.
And that includes games with gold too. Because every time one of those games with gold come out, I swipe the motherfuckers up straight up. Like games with gold, Game Pass, and then Game Pass Ultimate that lets you do it on PC plus EA Play. I'm like,
that's the one I have. So I've got all the EA stuff too. And like every Bethesda game ever is on there.
Take my money.
Like it's ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. So Joe, what did you think of Forza? I know you've probably just dipped into it briefly. And how does it look on the S? How does it look on the Series S? It
looks phenomenal on the S. It looks so phenomenal that I was like, so I was racing through the forest after you get launched out of the plane. I was racing through the forest or whatever, the jungle. And you get launched out of a plane. This is how they start you. They start you by launching you out of a plane and kind of getting you used to the controls. So you race 4 different cars.
All right, continue.
Yeah. You're in a plane and launches you out the plane. You're looking too much into this, Max. Listen.
All right, my bad. Sorry, it's not important. Carry on.
it was so good. Like they let you choose between performance mode, which is 60 frames per second, or graphics mode, which is 30 frames per second, but it's like 1440, which all you need right now. I mean, I don't know how many people are playing video games in 4K, but whatever. It's phenomenal. So phenomenal that I saw the antenna on this fucking car, and I'm looking at my screen like, is that no, that's the fucking antenna. Like, I don't see shit like that. That's how good this damn game is. That's how graphically good this damn game is. But then, like, I haven't played a Forza. I used to play Gran Turismo. I played Burnout. Forza is Burnout to the max.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It is so fantastic.
The
driving feels so good. And
so
every
good.
car has its own like level up. Like you can level up each car just by driving around and like doing tricks and skills and jumping off of stuff, you know, like no matter what you're doing, it's rewarding you and giving you points and just yeah. So I'm playing it on my PC, and this is the first time where I've like really tested my PC, and I cranked every setting up to ultra.
Yeah.
And I'm playing it on a monitor that I'm reviewing. So I'm not sure if I can talk about the monitor too much, but it's a badass. You know, it's this big HDMI freaking awesomeness. And not HDMI. The
4K?
fucking
HD?
the bright UHD, you know, what the hell? Whatever the term is, where it's like extra bright,
The
you
sun.
know.
Oh, the
Sun, nice.
It's the sun. It's just the sun. My monitor is just the sun. Anyhow, it looks so freaking good. Like, and there's a benchmark
HDR.
mode on the HDR. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jesus. There's a benchmark mode where you can like basically click it and it'll start an automated race and just like push your computer to the absolute limits and then tell you how it does. And that's pretty fascinating to do. Like that was pretty cool.
Well, cool. It sounds like there's like no downside to wanting to play this game at all.
None at all. Elliot,
you should
if you can play it, you should totally play it.
Check
like,
it out,
even
man.
if you're not into cars, like take the time and download it and check it out because it is like just phenomenal.
Elliot, I will warn you that it's 101 gigs.
Oh no, I've downloaded it. I've played it a little bit, very little, not a lot, but just a little, not enough to have an opinion yet, really.
Sure.
Just that I like it. I liked what I've played, and it seems fascinating. You know, I'm not a car guy. Like that's not a genre. That's a genre I steer clear of. It's just something I don't get into. But
yeah.
Well, one quick question before we wrap up on it: are you the car or are you the man inside?
You have a character and you design your character, and so you are in the car and you're British and. I don't know. You get like as part of the rewards, you get like different clothes and stuff, and so you can dress up your character. And there are sometimes cutscenes when you go to do the different events. She's like chatting with one person or another person, and when you win a race, you can make her do a little stupid dance, you know. And I say her because I always play as women, but it's so fun. Like there's so much customization. It is so fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it's game of the year for me or not yet because there's a couple other things that like I was really fascinated with earlier on in the year, but it is right up there in the running, man. It is so good.
It's very good.
very cool. Well, cool. Well, with that, we'll kind of lead into our first segment, which is Joe and I talking, and then you'll hear Eric and Aiden, and then you'll hear me, and then we'll have a little bit of wrap up, and that'll call it.
Music Maker.
I don't know what you were doing on a Friday night. Well, I know what you were doing on a Friday night. You were streaming. Do you normally stream on Friday nights? Is that normally your thing?
I do not. So usually on Friday nights, I'm kind of busy, doing the band thing, whatnot. We randomly got a Friday night off, and it was 2 days before Halloween, and I had done my your Halloween stream, if you will. And so I decided to go into a game that has been out for a while and it's gotten very positive reviews on Steam. and it was called Murder House. And I came across it when I saw a tweet from somebody.
Okay.
This is no joke. A tweet from somebody saying, asking Puppet Combo, the developer and the publisher of the game, to change the icon that you click on to get into the game.
Oh, okay.
Because the icon, quote unquote, looked low res and no one would buy that game based on the icon.
That's hilarious.
And so what happened was Puppet Combo literally just replied with no.
Yeah, you don't get it. You don't get the game.
You don't, like, no, you don't get this one, pretty much fuck you. And I saw that tweet and I probably laughed for a good 15 minutes. And I was like, Puppet Combo, this is where I buy your game. Now, after I streamed this, I found out that a lot of other people have already streamed this game.
I noticed that too, actually.
Yeah, I avoided all those streams. I avoided all that stuff. It was on sale. It was on $7, and so I got it.
Well, I'll tell you what I was doing on a Friday night. My wife had plans, and I did not. And so I was sitting at home. I had DoorDashed some food and had started drinking pretty early in the evening when I got bored, and I went to Facebook because I hate myself. And that's where I saw you streaming Murder House. And I was like, oh, this is my night right here, is watching Joe do this shit.
Well, I appreciate you being there, man. It was a very nice surprise to see you there.
It was a fun stream. So give us the premise. Give us the short little, like, what is the game kind of about? Because it was really kind of confusing to me in the beginning, because there's kind of like not an epilogue, but there's kind of like an opening, and then it like kind of fast forwards to like a couple of years ahead in time, right? Something like that.
Yes. So here's the game starts out with and you can choose the prologue to give you kind of an idea, and it's really smart how they do it. So they give you a prologue, to give you kind of the controls of the game, and the story starts out with there's an Easter Bunny killer. There's the Easter Bunny killer. I'm just gonna call him that. I know he has a name. The Easter Bunny killer. This is also, which I did not know, the spiritual successor to a game called Babysitter Bloodbath.
Okay,
so,
I've not heard that. That requires some looking up.
There's that, but there's he starts his killing in 1986, and literally it's just a murderous Easter Bunny that kills kids. And so the prologue is you, after you get your picture taken by the Easter Bunny, you wake up in a photo booth in the mall by yourself.
Okay.
And so you're running around, you're looking for your parents, you can't find your parents, you can't find a way out the mall. And you go into this, like, the back room, like the back, if you want to count them, like, catacombs of the mall. You go through these back hallways, and you're going through these doors, and you're kind of exploring. And out of nowhere, the murderous Easter Bunny starts running after you.
Is it something? It's called the Easter Ripper, right? Is that him?
The Easter Ripper. That's it. So you have to hide immediately. And you just kind of find your way around, and it's giving you all the things you're going to need in the epilogue, like all the mechanics, the tank mechanics that they used in Resident Evil 1 are in this game, like the hiding mechanism where you kind of sit and be quiet and let you see the feet of the Easter Ripper just kind of go by. All that shit is there, like all the mechanics you're gonna need in the epilogue are in the prologue. And so, spoiler alert, the prologue ends with the Easter Ripper finding you. I'm not going to tell you how it is.
Which was really good. I really got into it, and I thought, oh man, like, how do you win? Because I was like, I don't know how you're supposed to get out of this situation. Watching you play, I was like, there's no way you get out of this. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do.
But that's kind of how it's supposed to be.
Right. So the prologue ends with him finding you. Then it sends you to the epilogue, and it's years later, and you are part of a news crew or a not necessarily a news crew, but there are people investigating the story, right?
Right.
A realtor has given you access to the house where the Easter Ripper has killed all these kids, right? So the realtor has given you access to this house. When you go into the house, the realtor is missing. So now you're just trying to find the realtor, but you kind of want to shoot your story anyway because you want to get out the house. And as the game progresses, it's just jump scare after jump scare, like ghosts of the kids running around.
Weird Easter eggs are found in weird places.
It's nuts. And it's super cool. Like, so I was watching it and I was just like kind of, and I remember seeing this game last year and I was like, I'm never going to buy that. It looks too Resident Evil 1.
And that's the other thing though too, right? Is the look of this game, because it's like, it's not quite Nintendo 64, but it kind of is at the same time, right? Like,
yeah.
And it's made that way on purpose, right? So it's not like, oh, this is just like a game from that era. It's a game made, to kind of like honor that era of games. Like you said, the controls are a little weird.
Yeah, like you have to push up to go forward.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to used to do for, your Resident Evil, whatnot. So, but yeah, so you're just playing through it and it starts to become straightforward. Like once you figure those first three the first three items out, and again, I want you guys to play this. So if you're listening and you want to play it, this is a non-spoiler, like preview of the game. But once you start getting things, you start getting items, you figure out you figure out the next thing. You pick up it's kind of like Mega Man, right?
Right.
You get the powers of the boss, and then you go on to fight the next boss with those powers, and it makes it easier.
Yeah, you learn what to use, how to use the pencils and what the pencils are used for. You learn,
right? Zelda,
exactly.
Zelda. They call it PS1 visuals.
Okay, that's probably a little more fair. The other thing too is the sound of the game, right? Like some of the dialogue sounds like it was recorded like in a bathroom, but on purpose.
On purpose, right? And I feel like in 2020 when they made this game or whatnot, I feel like that it was actually recorded on equipment like you and I's equipment.
Right.
However, I feel like they put so many cool filters on it to make it sound like, and maybe they didn't. Maybe they really recorded it terribly.
Yeah.
On purpose, and that would be amazing.
Yeah, I kind of got some. Do you ever play Mega Man Legends at all, or familiar with that game?
Yes.
The character movement kind of reminded me of that quite a lot, actually. Just like how like the NPCs like moved or walked or stood or just stuff like that. It kind of felt like of that era. So, and when that is a PS1 kind of era game, so I guess that does kind of fit it really well. But it does have that Silent Hill vibe to it too, right? Where you're just kind of like, what's around the corner? What's up the stairs?
Right. And it's not even, it's like when you say what's up the stairs, this music just kicks in. Just like any scary movie from your 80s or whatever. It kicks in and damn well something is about to happen. And sometimes they get you. Sometimes they get you and nothing happens. But then when things do happen, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like this game, like I should have prefaced this with that. I don't do scary games. I on a stream, I don't, because I get so damn scared that I don't want to finish it and it becomes a longer stream than I want it to be. And it's just, whatnot. But man.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And you did this in what, 2 sittings, 2 playthroughs, or not 2 playthroughs, but like in 2 like streams. So how long was it overall? Would you say the game?
Probably like 2 hours if I'm not running around like, and I wouldn't even say that. Probably like an hour if you did a speed run, you could probably get it in an hour because you could run away from the Easter Ripper when he first finds you. But man. And a lot of people have played this game. A lot of streamers famous streamers have played through this game. And Jacksepticeye, Jack is that his name? A YouTuber?
I think that
know.
yeah.
He's in it. So I was,
okay.
There's your spoiler for that, but he's in it.
So who is this game not made for? Who should avoid this game?
Little kids.
Okay.
Little kids, and only because he's murdering kids.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit too much. But I feel like if you can take it, if you're, I don't know, if you're 14, you're like you can't separate it from like Grand Theft Auto, right? Because you kill people in Grand Theft Auto, like you run over them with cars and shit like that. But it's not like gory, and they're not killing kids.
I didn't watch all of your second stream. I kind of watched a little bit of the beginning, and I kind of flashed forward to the end. And the end was pretty interesting. I thought it was story-wise like kind of a cool little twist to the game.
Yeah, the end I let a very guttural what?
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, no, the end was it's really good. It's definitely going to share the scary movie, trying to figure out who the killer is, being wrong or right, and going, oh yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, it's amazing. The icon that got my attention was the Switch icon. So if you look that up, the Switch icon is hilarious.
Yeah, the game is out on PC, which you played it through Steam, but it's on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PlayStation 4. So you can get it in a handful of places. Right now, it's not on sale on Steam, so it's $11.99, which is the regular full price. Is it worth a full price? Is it a $12 game?
I think it's worth $10. I think it's worth $12. I do, and I think it's worth $12 because once you beat the game, you can go back through and see what you missed, maybe see how quick you can beat it or whatnot. Because once you play it through that first time, you go, okay,
right.
Why did it take me this long? Was I scared?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Only requires 4 gigs of RAM. It's less than 2 gigs. I think it's less than 1.5 gigs. So I don't even think it's 1.5 gigs. So it's not like it takes up a lot of space. So maybe something that's worth putting in your like wish list for the next time it's like super cheap and grabbing it, when you want to be scared a little bit, right?
Yeah. I am very happy. And I will say this, there are 4 other games by Puppet Combo that I didn't know existed. So Night of the Nun, Babysitter Bloodbath, The Glass Staircase, Feed Me Billy. And there's another one, but I don't know what that is.
Is it Stay Out of the House? I think it might be Stay Out of the House.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. So yeah, there are. I feel like I need to play these other ones, right? But
yeah,
woof.
The nice thing is Halloween comes around. It's cyclical, so you just catch it on the next one. You don't sound super convinced.
I'll have to play. Maybe I'll have to play it until then. Maybe. And I still haven't beat Resident Evil 8, so maybe I'll go back to that and calm down, because Resident Evil 8 isn't scary at all. Like, there was one house in Resident Evil 8 where I'm like, what the fuck? But then the rest of the game is it's Resident Evil 4. Yeah. Times 2.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I have never actually played a Resident Evil game ever.
Well, I need you to start.
It's just one of those genres. It's like that one group of games. It's like, there's a couple of those kinds of games. I just never played any games in that series. I've never played a Resident Evil game. And then I'm like, it's too late to start. I want to start at 1 to get the story, but
no, get the remake of 1.
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
Well, get this. One time on another podcast I was on, we interviewed a guy who is the voice actor of Leon in the Resident Evil games, or the newer ones.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, how do you guys what's your story about playing Resident Evil? What's your history with the franchise? And I was like, yeah, man, I go way back. PlayStation 1, bro. I was like, yeah, it's just so good. There's just so many things I can't even think of my favorite. Just the guns and the zombies. Yeah, definitely. And Umbrella, man, they're so evil.
You lying motherfucker. I'm
for
gonna
sure.
find out.
Through my teeth.
I'm gonna find out where Leon Kennedy's voice guy is, and I'm gonna be like, Elliot lied to you.
Through my teeth. Through my teeth. So
that's great.
All right, dude. I think that's gonna kind of do it for Murder House. Is there anything else you want to mention about it?
Yeah, Public Combo. You made a great game. Again, the Murder House icon for Switch is iconic. It is that good. It's so very, very good. But if you want a good hour or two of fun or streaming material and you haven't, maybe I'm the last one. Maybe I'm the last one who's done it, right?
Yeah.
But if you want a good stream to do it, I think the Switch version just came out.
I think you're right.
I'm seeing all these tweets from October 20th.
October 14th. Yeah, it came out on the 14th of October, so it just came out.
So it just came out. All right, cool.
Just came out.
If you are a Switch owner and you want to play it on that beautiful, sexy OLED model, baby, go get Murder House. Oh, there are real quick, there are filters you can turn on too. So there's the 16 millimeter film filter. There's the VHS filter. There's the CRT filter. So I turned that off to make the stream better. But on the first stream, I actually have the 16 millimeter filter on.
Okay.
So yeah, people love Murder House. Eric would have loved Murder House. I'm surprised he hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll send it over.
Yeah, I watched that whole stream. I think I came in maybe 10 minutes into the stream, and I stayed for the whole time, man. It was a fun watch.
I appreciate you being there, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
The technical difficulties, that was cool.
No, it was all good. I actually loved your "We'll be back" screen. That's very like Saturday morning cartoon-esque. Like
after these messages,
that's exactly what I thought. It's a good picture, and it's like the black and white. It was good. It's a good look. I liked it.
Music Matrix.
This is Eric Hodder, and this week, the topic of the show, which may or may not be followed during the various segments, but the overall theme of the show is loyalty. And I found myself thinking about loyalty in a number of different ways. Gamers' loyalty to the platforms that they play on, gamers' loyalty to the friends that they play with, gamers' loyalty to the memories that they made while they were playing games. And so I thought for my part of this show, I thought it might be interesting to interview the biggest gamer I know, both physically and through activity, and that is my son, Aiden Hodder.
Hi.
Hi. What's up? Welcome to the Gaming Nexus show.
Thank you.
So Aiden is 21 years old. He is a senior at Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. He is a varsity volleyball player. He's a computer science student. And he is also the biggest video game fan I know. And that's saying a lot because I'm me and I do what I do. Aiden, about how many hours a week do you think you play video games?
Quite a few. Let's say, like, probably around 50, I would say.
Around 50 hours a week?
Quite a few hours, yeah.
It's like a full-time job. It's more than a full-time job.
Yeah, probably. Just, like, out of the total time, like, spending time with my friends, probably close to around 50 hours.
And so when you say spending time with your friends, you're referring to in-game spending time with your friends.
Yes, spending time with my friends in-game, maybe not even in-game, just like talking on like PlayStation parties or in an interface somewhere, probably close to 50 hours, yeah.
Gotcha. And Would you say that many of your primary friendships, like many of your closest friendships in life, have come from gaming?
Yeah. I think probably 2/3 of my like close friend group at this point I've met solely over playing video games, and then I met them later in real life. Um, it's especially over COVID, I found a new group of friends just gaming and finding people. Um, yeah, I've met the majority of my friends, I would say, through gaming and online interfaces.
Right. So how can you describe what it's like when you like how you meet somebody, like how you connect with someone when you encounter somebody in a game for the first time, like how do you know like, oh, I want to play with this person again? Like what is that like? Because this is foreign. Like I've never done this. I've never made an online friend gaming because I don't do a lot of online multiplayer, at least not with chat. Like
Yeah.
I turn the, you know me, I turn the chat off.
Yeah.
So what?
Usually it's the person that's not screaming at you for various reasons. And I don't know, like earlier this week, I was playing First Class Trouble, which is the
First Class Trouble is the jam.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But I was playing, and it was me and four of my friends, and it's a 6-person game. And we found these two other dudes who we just like instantly like were cool with. And then I don't know, I guess you just take it from there. And like the more games you have in common that you play together, the easier it is. And then you just like slowly become really good friends over the games. I don't know, you just share experiences, and it's really unique, honestly. Like having online friends is very unique because like the experiences that you have together are fantastical. It's not we went to a party, it's like we traveled across this continent together, and it's I don't know, it's really unique. That's all. That's the only way I can describe it.
No, that's really cool. So like geographically, where are some of your friends?
A lot of them are in Columbus, where we live.
Yeah.
But I had a friend from Russia. It was really weird. The times were really weird that we played together. It'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
That I'd be talking to him over the summer and stuff. And then I had a friend from Oklahoma. I've had a friend from South Carolina. I've had a friend from Newcastle in England.
Cool.
Yeah, we played a lot of FIFA together. Yeah, so all over the place, really. But the main ones that I have are from Columbus. I actually met them through a friend that I've had for years. You know him, Elijah.
Yeah.
And then he had a group of friends, and then my group of friends met each other through online gaming, and we weren't even associated. Like Elijah's friends met my friends, and they became a group, and then later we were added to the group. So
Gotcha.
it's weird how things work out. Yeah, our friends have been playing together for years, and we didn't even know.
No, that's cool. That's cool. What types of games? I mean, you just listed off some very different games. First Class Trouble, which just a quick aside, when that first came out in early access on PC, me and Joey, known on the podcast as Joseph, and Quincy and John Yan and Randy took a run at it, and we did a stream of it. It is just hysterical. You got to watch it sometimes. It's so funny. We made this guy like his brain broke. He was so mad. I'll show you the video after this, but it's hysterical.
Yeah, that's really funny.
So anyhow, you named off First Class Trouble and FIFA, which are very different sorts of games.
For sure.
How do you and your friends like determine what games you're going to play? And like, are there ever any splinter groups? Like, is there ever a point where like this group is like, we're going off to play blah blah blah, and you're like, I'm just not playing that this month. See you guys when you're done with that. Like, how does that dynamic work?
Yeah, so basically my friends, one guy will just be like, hey, I'm going back and playing Overwatch. Who wants to play with me? And then everybody basically is like, yeah, I'll try it again for like the 7th time, or no, I'm not playing that stupid game anymore.
Yeah.
And then for new games, someone will just show up with a new game. They'll be like, I just bought Back 4 Blood. And then everybody will be like, oh yeah, that looks cool. We'll try it out. Or, no, I'm not buying that game because you guys are only going to play it for 2 weeks.
Right. Have you ever felt like pressure from the group to buy a game that maybe you didn't want?
For sure. An example of that is Guilty Gear Strive. I bought Guilty Gear Strive.
How did that go for you?
And, well, I played Guilty Gear XR2, and I liked it because I played Leo, if anybody knows who that is. And Guilty Gear Strive is basically like a watered-down version. Like, it's a simpler version to make it more accessible for new players, but it basically destroyed my character. So I stopped playing it, and then I was kind of like, well, there goes $60 down the drain.
Right.
So, yeah, totally.
That's funny. So, okay, friends aside, like if you were just to like choose like your top 5 games, what would those be?
Yikes, of all time?
Just like what you
Or
would play
right
right
now.
now. If you could choose like 5 different games that you were going to play this month, like current stuff,
Okay.
what would those be?
Well, first, number 1, Smite, without even thinking.
Yeah.
Of course, Smite. I'm a huge Smite player.
I talk about you playing Smite on the podcast a lot.
Yeah, it's just, that's the main game that my friends and I like play and bond over and all that stuff. Number 2 right now would be Back 4 Blood. I really like the way you can like make builds and make your character unique, and it's really fun. And then like the replayability, it slowly gets harder. Kind of, and in the harder difficulties, it becomes more like zombie Dark Souls. Like it's really punishing, and my friends and I will like restart a level 4 times over because we just get swarmed by zombies, and it's really cool. Number 3 right now is Overwatch. I just think it's a really unique experience because it brings like MOBA elements of team fighting, as well as like FPS action elements. So the people that are less inclined to like get into item builds and like 1v1s and laning phases and stuff of MOBAs, it brings a lot more of the team fight mechanics of MOBAs without having to do all that, doing all the hard stuff.
Right. So Overwatch, I'm curious about, and we'll go back to your top 5 in a second, but like I engaged with Overwatch pretty heavy when it came out, like when it was new.
Yeah.
And I probably went hard on Overwatch for like 3 or 4 months. I was a diva main. And
Diva main. It's a whole new thing now, Diva main.
yeah, so my question is like, coming back to the game now, would I even recognize it? Like is it the same game? Has it changed? Like,
well, yeah, it's changed a ton, honestly. When I first, we played it together when it first came out.
Yeah.
I didn't like to think too hard about it. Like I liked going in with 6 Torbs and just smacking turrets and trying to keep our turrets alive.
Yeah.
And it is transformed into like an esport almost. It's more team oriented and it's less casual, I would say. So I play support mostly. If anybody plays Overwatch, I main Brig, Moira, and Ana. And it's more focused on, you would need a team, or you'd have to find people that you worked well with and like create a team. But
so you're saying if you go in with randos, you're gonna get smoked?
Usually, yeah. Unless you're like one of those insane or solo queue guys,
right?
But yeah, it's more team based, and it plays more like a MOBA, honestly, than anything, because it's very ability and cooldown based, and you have to like track what the other team's doing and try to counter them like in real time. It's interesting. It's unique, honestly.
It sounds way more strategic.
Yeah, it's a lot more strategic.
Not the Wild West anymore.
It's not casual at all. It's not the Wild West. It is refined into, so there's 2 tanks, 2 damage, and 2 healers now on a team, and it is, people take it very seriously.
You're gonna get mad at me if I try again.
I wouldn't get mad at you.
You wouldn't get mad at me.
I'd be down to try it with you.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so back to your top 5 current games.
Okay, so we got Smite, Back 4 Blood, Overwatch. Number 4 would probably have to be. I have to think about it.
You don't have to do 5 if you don't want to. If those are like your
those are my top 3 right now.
Your 3 primaries, then that's cool.
Okay, I got one. Number 4 would be D2, Destiny 2. I'm not really playing it right now because we're kind of waiting for an update, but we've gone back to playing Destiny 2, and I played it at launch and then came back probably like 6 months ago, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much content on that game. It is ridiculous. Like we played it for probably a month straight, and I didn't even like touch the surface of it. It's insane how much stuff there is in that game.
Do you buy the updates when they come out? Like, do you buy the whatever the hell?
Yeah. So another thing, like me and my friends, we share like purchases with each other. So like we're paired up, and then like one guy will buy the first patch for a game or the first expansion, and then the next guy will buy the other one.
So you alternate.
Yeah.
Smart.
So we don't have to spend as much money that way.
College students.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really smart.
But yeah, we usually get every expansion, and the next one brings the Gjallarhorn back, which is it's probably the most iconic gun in a game for like the 2010s. It's huge.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty interesting.
So let's back up a little bit. When you were young, when you were middle school, high school age, you were a FPS guy. Like you were Call of Duty, Battlefield.
Yep.
Like
super huge FPS.
Yeah, and then and then Madden.
Yep.
And
sports games in general.
Yeah, sports games in general. And then lately I've noticed that you've like really branched off. Like you still do a lot of team-based online games. Mm-hmm. But you recently were doing Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah. And then that had you branching off and trying Skyrim again for the first time in 12 years or whatever. Yeah. And he beat Cyberpunk. You beat Cyberpunk.
If you were turned off at the launch, go back and try it. It is a very fun game. And it is I encountered maybe one bug the entire time.
Yeah. So do you feel like you're kind of expanding your horizons? Because like I was honestly with Skyrim and Cyberpunk, I was shocked to see you playing single player games.
Yeah, it's very off brand for me. But when COVID happened, I had like a whole bunch of time on my hands and games got stale really fast.
Yeah.
So I started branching out, and I would just like pick a game. Like I had PlayStation Now, and I would just pick a game and play it. And then I like started to understand why somebody would play a single player game, because before I was just like, if my friends can't play with me, it's pretty boring. But so I went back and tried them, and I actually found something I like. And then for MMOs, like if you have a bunch of time on your hands, the number one game type for you to play is an MMO, because it's endless, you know?
Right.
So I figured, why not?
Yeah, that's cool. Like I enjoy single player games just because I like to kind of like lose myself in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how I was with Cyberpunk. It's like I was just really into the world and like all the different mods that people had, and like just exploring what somebody thought 50 years down the line would look like. So I was just really into it. And for Skyrim, I really like magic and like fantastical things. So I figured, why not go to like the most iconic world?
No, that makes sense. Like that's kind of why I loved and also disliked Fallout 76. Like Fallout 76, I was such a weirdo when it came to that game because I wanted to play it like a single player game. Mm-hmm. And I did play it like a single player game. I soloed that entire campaign until like the very last bit where you have to team up with people.
Yeah.
And I liked it before they added all the humans back in. Like now it's a very different game than it was when it released. There's people and quest lines and, so on and so forth. But I liked it when it was like abandoned and just robots and everybody was like, oh, it feels lonely. But to me, like, that's the thing. Like in my current life, I don't have a lot of alone time, especially with COVID. Like I'm here with my wife 24 hours a day, which she's awesome. So that's cool. But I'm also a person who likes to be off by myself sometimes, and the kids are here and so on. And so for me to go off into a world and be by myself, that's appealing.
Yeah.
It's like appealing to me.
For sure.
So I want to pivot a little bit again. I'm sorry. I keep switching it up on you. Can you talk about like your history in games and how you got started playing games? And got to the point where you like go so hard on games now,
Yeah. So I started playing games. The first game I remember playing was Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 1 with you.
Yeah.
So initially I just like really liked the like I don't know. I like just being in a world kind of similar to you with single player games. That was just not my own. So I just took off with that. And then when I got my first Xbox 360, I got Modern Warfare 3 along with it. And then the competitiveness kicked in for me. So like I've played sports my whole life and I've always been pretty competitive, and video games scratch that itch of being competitive and not being in the same world. Like being in a normal world, and the competitiveness just like kicked off from there. So like I just wanted to be the best person out of my friend group to play any said game, and that's why I keep playing. So when I first started playing Smite, I got destroyed just like everybody else does in any MOBA, and I hated it. So and then I took a break, and then I came back. And I got destroyed again because I didn't play any. And when I came back, I just like went insane. I was like watching YouTube videos and looking up stuff on Reddit of how to get better because I just could not stand losing to my friends. So then I just played and played and played, and now I'm easily the best player.
You're the best one. So how do you I know you're not a pro. But I think at this point, you could compete on those levels.
Yeah, I mainly play with my friends, and like I haven't seen how far I could get in like the rankings, but I have made it to Masters, and I think if I really tried, I could go even further.
Yeah.
And like Masters is the top rank below. Well, it's below the very top rank, which is I think Masters is the top 5% or 1% of all the player base. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're pretty competitive now.
Yeah.
Like not meaning like you feel competitive, but you are, a superior Smite player.
Yeah.
At this point. Like there's not to brag, but just no bones about it.
Top 5 at least. And I think I could get further, honestly.
So you are primarily a PlayStation guy.
Yep.
Would you say? Well, let's walk back. Let's walk back through the history of consoles that you've owned.
Okay.
So with me, obviously, we started with I think we were playing PlayStation 1 games on a PlayStation 2 because we were broke. And so what we would do would be we would go to like the local video game store and I would buy whatever I could get my hands on for like $1 or $2. And we were also playing my old PS1 games that I had from when PS1 first released. So that's and Crash Bandicoot, we beat that shit. We beat it.
We beat it. It took us about 3 hours to get through a level sometimes, but we beat it. So that was a PS2, and that's what we primarily played when you were like little. Yeah.
And then
I had a PlayStation 1 as well by myself on the side, but
right.
Yeah.
And then we both around the same time got 360s. We were kind of late to the party, but we both got 360s, right? And then where does it go from there?
From a 360, I that's when I was really into Call of Duty, and then I got a PS4, and then as I got a PS4, I kind of shifted from FPS games to sports games more, and then from there I got a Switch with Smash and Mario Kart and all like the party games. But from there, after that, I got a PS5, and then now we're here.
Yeah. So would you say historically and currently you're primarily a PlayStation guy?
Yes, 100%.
Would you say that you feel some loyalty to PlayStation?
I think now you have to stay more loyal towards consoles because of like all the digital purchases and stuff, but I'm not a PlayStation fanboy. Like, I don't try to defend the console in wars or anything.
If someone were to give you an Xbox Series X for free,
I would take it. I wouldn't complain.
Do you think you would play it as much as you do your PlayStation, though?
I think I would stay on PlayStation. Because like not only like digital purchases and stuff, but my friends don't have a PlayStation, so like it's kind of like an
Xbox, you mean? Your friends?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. An Xbox. So like my friends are all on PlayStation. I wouldn't switch. I definitely wouldn't switch if I just like stumbled across the Series X tomorrow.
Right. Like you're in the PlayStation ecosystem,
right?
Deep enough that they have you.
Yes.
Like you're not a fanboy. You're not like I'm in because it's PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's more like I'm in because that's where all my money and all my friends and all my time are.
Yep, 100%.
Gotcha. So what would you say your relationship is like with your Switch? Like,
I mainly pull the Switch out at like parties and stuff, but like if there's a game and it's on Switch and PlayStation, there's like no doubt I'm buying it on PlayStation instead. Unless there's like some hidden feature that's on the Switch that I couldn't like experience on PlayStation.
Right.
But yeah, mainly I just use it to play Smash at parties and stuff.
That's like my Switch is funny because like
and Pokemon.
I play Switch games that are exclusive to Switch. I play Switch like when I want to not be in the living room on the big TV. But ever since I got my gaming PC, which is in my bedroom, but that Switch has been collecting dust.
Yep.
Like unless there is something coming out like exclusive to Switch or like a cool review I'm gonna do. That I can't.
It's the Nintendo niche.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think Monster Hunter, the RPG, was probably the last time I like really went hard on the Switch.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been.
Or I do pull out my Switch on, like trips.
Like bus
rides. Yeah. So like for volleyball, I travel sometimes 6 hours or like 7 hours to St. Louis or to Buffalo or something like that. I definitely pull my Switch out then.
Right. And what are you playing?
I play Zelda, and then Smash, and I play Mario Kart. And I got a new game, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, Pokemon Sun. No, that's not right. Pokemon Sword. That's the one. Sun is on 3DS.
Right. Cool. Do you have any interest in like PC gaming? You into that?
Yeah, I mean, if I had a PC, I would play. But I don't know. I played League because I feel like as a Smite player, the natural progression is like try League as like the biggest MOBA ever. But I suck at it. And I'm kind of like, I honestly think that Smite's a better game. But, I don't have a PC, and it's kind of like this monster to tackle.
It is a monster to tackle, yeah.
And also, like, my skills won't necessarily translate from controller to PC right away, so I'd suck, and that would be really hard for me to
I just use a controller. So like every PC game that I play, I use a controller. The only one that I used mouse and keyboard for was Inscription because it didn't have controller support when I played it. It might have it now, but it didn't have it when I played it. So yeah, and honestly, like, I've built up this insane Steam library over the years with no PC to play the games, or like a very minimally viable PC. And so now I've got this ludicrous Steam library. I've got just a banging Epic Game Store library just from all that free stuff. But you know what I'm spending most of my time doing? Xbox Game Pass, baby. Like, that Xbox Game Pass is like, so the thing about, like you said, being caught up in an ecosystem is me too. Like, I'm on PlayStation because that's where I've put all my money over the years. And so I've missed all the Xbox exclusives from the Xbox One generation and now the Series S and X generation. And so suddenly being able to like access all that stuff and go back and play like State of Decay and like the Xbox exclusives and Forza, obviously, I'm like super into.
That's the one game that if I stumbled over the Series X tomorrow, that would be the game I would buy for sure.
It's so good.
The very first one, Forza.
It is so good. I can't stop. Like, it's very, like, I'm glad you came home this weekend because you broke my Forza habit, because if you weren't here, I'd be in there right now, like, doing Forza, and my wife's outside with the kids, like, and I'm just like, no, I got cars.
You just have to. You have to Forza.
All right, Aiden. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk.
Of
and
course.
Again, this is Aiden Hodder, my son. You feel like giving your socials? You don't have to if you don't want to.
On PlayStation, I'm unlike any hero.
All one word, right?
All one word. And then on Twitter, I'm Aiden All Day 2000. No, all one word as well.
Aiden with an A, AIDAN.
Yes. AIDAN, because that's the only correct way to spell it.
Right.
But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for listening. And I suppose this is probably not going to be the end of the show. So back to whoever else is talking now.
Music Matrix.
Brand loyalty. It's almost like a product of a bygone era, like something my dad's into. After all, he's purchased the same brand of car for as long as I've been alive. When I think about it, I guess I'm a bit brand loyal myself. A couple of years ago, my wife and I bought a mattress from one of those online places. I'll buy another one from the same company one day. It's a good mattress. It used to mean something being loyal to a brand. Remember when people would only buy Craftsman tools from Sears? A big reason for that being their lifetime warranty? Apparently, a lifetime only lasts until 2018, as there's only 19 Sears stores left in existence anyway. It's the same thing for video game consoles. If you wanted to play online with your friends, you had to have the same console. Then Final Fantasy XI came along and kind of completely changed the game. That was the first cross-platform game, by the way. I had to look it up myself. When I was in college, everyone, and I mean literally everyone that played video games on my small campus, owned an Xbox 360. If you didn't have one, you came back from Christmas break with one. I know that's a microcosm at best, but it was true for me. We all had the same console so that we could play together on the school's shared connections. It's refreshing how quickly things can change. For the most part, Sony and Microsoft play nice these days. I couldn't believe how easy it was a few years ago to play Fortnite, yeah, I know, on my Switch while my brother was on his Xbox. Communicating between the two rival consoles was flawless. It was shocking, to say the least. When Battlefield 2042 comes out, everyone will be able to play with anyone they want to, regardless of the console they're playing on. In a matter of years, we went from zero crossplay to near seamless integration for most big games. But let me backtrack to Nintendo. The beat of their drum has a different tempo, one that Microsoft and Sony just don't even have the sheet music for. For most of my life, I've enjoyed their catalog more so than any other. I've purchased almost every iteration of the 3DS, even the new 2DS. Please do not judge me. I was excited when they announced the Wii U. I still love that system. We bust it out at parties all the time. I may not dip on the first day of release for every game, but I get there pretty quickly when it comes to Nintendo. Why am I so loyal? It's really pretty simple. It's the content. It can't be beat. It still can't for the most part. But recently, I found myself in somewhat of a misstep with the latest tracks that Nintendo plays. For a long time, Nintendo stayed away from the mobile phone market. Now, they have a slew of titles, each one a bit of a letdown in their own way. A Mario Kart game where the game accelerates for you, a Fire Emblem game that literally plays itself. The Dr. Mario game that they put out was so bad that Nintendo decided that they needed to shut it down. A Pokemon game that is pure pay to win. I've tried all of them and I found them to be mostly disappointing. I've started to see the same trend in some of the console games Nintendo puts out. I recently had the chance to review Mario Golf Super Rush this past summer, and while the mechanics of the game are pretty solid, the game was lacking in a few categories. For one, the campaign was really short. I managed to play through it in just a few short sessions. The second was the complete lack of golf courses. At launch, the game only had 4 golf courses for a golf video game. Compare that to PGA Tour 2K21, that game had 15. I get that they're different games, but they're also kind of not. Since the June 25th release date, Nintendo has added 3 new courses, a new mode, and 3 new playable characters. All of that was within 3 months of the initial release. First off, the amount of free post-content is second to none. But I'm hard-pressed to believe that they created all that additional content in a 3-month span. If I had to guess, they had planned most of this post-content in mind for the original release and just couldn't make it happen in time. Lackluster games can be made good, with enough time. But should I have to wait 3 months for the game to be a worthwhile investment of my money? I don't think so. I found it hard to tell people that Mario Golf Super Rush was worth your money when it first came out. In fact, I told them that it wasn't worth the price. I've played the new content since it's been released and found it to be excellent. If they had included that in the beginning, I would have sung a completely different tune. But I know if I had purchased that game on June 25th, I would have been very let down. It's not even the video game portion of Nintendo that I've started to feel down about. I think there is something to be said that Nintendo's Switch Online expansion pack trailer is the most disliked video to date by Nintendo. Nintendo must think that they made a mistake as well, saying recently that they want to improve upon the service even further. What does Nintendo owe me? Nothing. I'm a consumer and I want to consume their products. Why limit themselves in their offerings, or try to tack on a DLC for a game like Animal Crossing into an expansion of an online service? Was it because they knew it was pretty weak to begin with, and they needed something to try and sweeten the deal? That's what I think. When you consider they're selling the standalone DLC without the online expansion for $24.99, it just doesn't add up to me. I haven't made the jump to the premium service, and I have no plans to do so currently. My loyalty is waning. Is it the hindsight of my age? Is it the cost? Is it going online and hearing others who feel the same way as I do? Is it the rose-colored glasses that I long to put on? Whatever it is, my loyalty doesn't seem strong enough to hold. So that was captivating stuff, right?
Yeah, it tied me up, bound me. I am still in the cell.
Fantastic. That is absolutely what I wanted from all three of you.
It puts the lotion in the bucket or it gets the hose again.
So hopefully you guys liked that. We're going to keep trying something like that. I have, in the meantime, found a Wheel of Names application. I put all 4 of our names in. I'm going to click to spin it.
Oh,
nice.
bitch. Can you screen share it? I want to see it.
No, I can't. I'm sure I could, but I'm not.
I can see it in the reflection of
It's
your
coming.
glasses.
Oh, it's coming up, Joe. I got Joe. Joe, give us our word. Oh, wow. I don't know if you can hear that on my end.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's got applause.
It's got applause.
Yeah,
That's
applause.
so there you go, Joe. You're the big
That's
winner,
great.
Joe. So, Joe, what will our topic be for our next episode?
How'd your gaming get started?
That's not a word.
Cool.
That is not a word.
How-
You
Marcus, how about-
completely
Press start.
So just
press start.
Press
Press
start.
start.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
press
press,
start.
press start.
Press
Press
start.
start is the theme. How'd you get started? All right.
Press start.
Okay, there you go. All right, well,
Press start.
Nice. That's a great one.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks with.
Eat my ass, Elliot.
It wasn't my idea to come up with one word. That was Eric. I'm the one eating your
Press
ass.
start. Press start
I
is
just-
two. Press start is one word. You say it all together.
It can be it's just
Yeah,
one
press
topic.
Hyphen
You're good.
start, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. See,
I got you, man.
my man. Okay,
That's right.
You
Anyway, we'll have all of our socials in the show notes as well too, so you can look for Max's game, Ocean's Heart. You can attempt to follow Joe streaming if you really want to. You can read what Eric and I have to say at GamingNexus.com or follow us on Twitter or YouTube, that kind of stuff. There you go. Joe, of course I love you, man. I watched that whole stream,
Elliot.
man. I spent a whole Friday night with you.
He did. He spent a whole fucking night on that stream, and I appreciate it. But as soon as we get off this fucking thing, I'm going over to his house and kick his ass.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about the fact that, like, in order to follow Joe's stream, he, like, comes out of the computer and you have to beat him in one-on-one combat.
That's right.
That's probably
right.
it's probably what he was talking
That's exactly what I was meaning.
Were you streaming with Joe, or were you watching?
I was watching. I was. My wife was out for the night. She was babysitting, and so I decided to go home, order a pizza, and like drink by myself because I had nothing to do on a Friday night. And I stumbled on Facebook because I hate myself. I think I even said that last time. I was like, I'll go on Facebook. Why not? I want to feel bad about myself for a little bit. See what my QAnon uncle has to say. You know. And I found Joe, and I was like, oh, I'm watching this. This is my entertainment tonight.
Yeah.
So that was literally my Friday. It was great. It was a great Friday. I had a blast watching him play.
Thank you.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't watch a lot of streamers, so you know the fact that I stayed the whole time was.
Oh, I love dipping into Joe's streams. Like I usually what happens is my wife is getting ready for bed, and so I'll just be like, "What's Joe streaming?" And I'll end up like staying too long, you know, until she's like, turn it off. It's like, no, I don't want to listen to Joe while I'm trying to sleep. No.
Zoe better get it together. Shit.
Well, cool, guys. We will catch you in a couple of weeks. If you have any feedback, you can hit us up again on our socials. That'll be in that show notes. So
You know
let us
we
know
need
what you
it.
like or don't like.
Awesome. All right, bye, y'all.